yes, if we have any questions from the yesterday's class, so Pravas yesterday we have started with the S3, and this is running 2 days, 2 3 days differences there. Just to be repeat for you, and if you have any questions, you can let me know.
Yes.
Jalaj, one question.
Please.
In real-time scenarios, like the client side, so we won't upload any the data specifically to the S3, right? So, so we'll we'll import or integrate the data into the S3 from the on-prem or other sources.
Yes.
So, would you like to give the demo on that also?
So see, for that it's a DMS service that is used, data migration service, and for those we need some on-premise server. Okay, so data on S3 can be sent via various ways. So you can use third-party tools like Informatica, Talent, Teradata to connect with on-premise servers, which can be your SQL servers or like Oracle, MySQL DBs. Okay.
Right, I understand.
Those
You'll come
can,
under migration projects. Okay.
yeah. So those tools can connect with those and they can push the data on S3, or it can be pulled up by the DMS service that is there.
Got it, got it. Okay, we are focusing on only data processing or data
Yes,
engineering.
yes.
Okay.
So that is actually data ingestion process. Is the data migration projects are there for those things.
Okay.
So are we good to end the Python, Jalaj? Like we are starting new service?
See, I also mentioned in the introduction of this course, Python, obviously I cannot cover the each and everything. I have covered enough to get you started. Okay. So if you do practice, it will be, you will become more confident. And anyhow, our final project, our mini project, and our Lambda functions are all based on Python. So you will see more Python programming in this course.
Yeah, PySpark, yeah.
Yeah, PySpark, exactly. So reading the files, transforming the data, applying joins, doing SCDs, connecting with various other services, calling some other services on behalf of code. Those things we are going to see moving ahead in this course.
Okay.
I think in that case.
Okay, so I'll just start. So yesterday we have seen a few things like that is storage classes we have seen, and then we have one feature in S3 that is called S3 lifecycle rules. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do a demo of S3 lifecycle rules. So we had created this bucket yesterday, okay, and now I can go ahead and create lifecycle rules. For those, you have to come in management and just click on create lifecycle rule. So it is already one rule is enabled on that. So maybe I can, I think it's the bucket, I think different bucket I have created. I don't remember. I think it is this bucket. Yeah, it is this bucket which I created on May 1st. So this is the bucket name. On management, we can go ahead and here you can see there's no lifecycle rule has been configured here. So simply we can click on this create lifecycle rule here. And if I click this, we have to provide a name here, so I can just give a demo life cycle. Okay, then okay, let me just get it duplicated. So let's say if I open this bucket, a random bucket, then here is one setting is here. So it is saying you want, or it is asking you to choose the scope of this rule. The rule that we are going to apply on this bucket, it is asking us to choose the scope of that. So if we want to apply the rule only for a specific folder, okay, on S3. We can come here and we can select the folder name. Let's say I want to apply this lifecycle rule only on sale data folder. So I can come here and I can, get this copy and paste it here in the prefix, and you need to remove the forward slash. And then you can see like this means only the files or data coming inside this particular folder, inside the sale data, only these files are going to be impacted by the lifecycle rules. Okay, but for our bucket I don't think that we have any folder yet, so I can just go inside the folder and let me just go ahead and create a folder. It's a very easy process, or you just have to click on create folder and give a folder name here. So we can just give a test name here. Okay, just simply come down and click on create folder. So like this, if I again go back on my management and create a lifecycle rule. So now let me just open the same bucket here. Actually, that's going to be a bit easy. Training. So this is the bucket that I have opened here, and this is the folder that we have created. So let me just get this test here. This means now any files which I add inside my test folder are going to be affected by this lifecycle rules. No other files, no other folders are going to be affected. But if I want to, get all the files inside this particular bucket, inside this bucket that we have on the screen, if I want to move, if I want to, you know, move the files in different storage classes for whole of this bucket, then I have to choose this setting. I have to say apply to all objects in the bucket. Then it's simply I have to acknowledge that, and it will not ask for any prefixes. So prefixes actually at any place, be not only for this rule, they just tends to limit. They are just there to filter the scope of your rules or triggers or anything that you're trying to do. So I just say demo again to my rule name. Then you can specify the minimum object size and the maximum object size. So if you want to specify the minimum object size that you want to move with the help of these lifecycle rules, you can just simply select on these and you can enter the value in either KBs or MBs or GBs. Okay. So if I say 100, then that means any file smaller than 100 KB will not be affected by that rule. Okay, so this kind of configurations we can definitely provide here. Now it comes the actions that we want to take. So here we have the options of moving the current objects or current versions of the objects between storage classes. If you want to move the latest version of any file. So we had discussed about the versions of the files yesterday. So if you want to move the current versions also, then you can check this box. Or if you want to just move the non-current versions of the objects between storage classes, then you can select this option. And if you want to move both, then you can select the both options. Then we also have the option of permanently deleting the non-current versions of the object. That means, let's say you have one file and that has too many versions created. Let's say it has got 10 versions created. And if you want to delete the few versions, let's say you only want to keep the latest 2 versions and you want to delete some of the versions, you can select this option and then you can say after how many days you want to delete those and how many number you want to retain. So if you say a 5, that means if you say 5 here like this, and let's say you had 10 versions, then 5 older versions are going to be dropped and newer versions are going to be preserved. Okay, so likewise we can go ahead and create this rule, and it's, let's say it's 30 days. After 30 days we can I want my files to be like my non-current versions to be deleted. Then I can say I want to move the current objects of my versions of my objects to between storage classes. So for those I can just come down here. Now I can select the option. So you can see I have quite a few options. I have quite a few options here. Okay, so now it is why. Okay, what is wrong here? I should have option. If I just say remove this, and if I just say it like this, remove, and if I again select this, I should have a standard IA also. Why this is not enabled? Okay, just a second. Okay, I think I have defined a rule of minimum size. So if I just remove this, and then if I try to select here, yeah. So actually we have no files available on that which are more than 100 KB. That's why these options were disabled. So if I just go ahead here and if I upload something which is more than 100 KB, maybe I can reduce the size also in the checkbox. So let's say I just upload this file which is more than 100 KB, upload, and then on this tab we are limiting the scope to test folder. Okay, so now if I just try to specify minimum object size with 100 KB, then I still should have the access to other options. So if I just come down and select this, I think it is not refreshed. Let's just refresh this. Minimum object size, let's just say 10 KB. Anything should work. 10, 100, everything is fine. Move current objects, and now I should be able to see those things. Still not. Okay, this is a bit weird setting. So if I just remove this and then if I try, I can see it. Okay, maybe something which I'm missing here, or like I think they're like if you specify the minimum size, you won't be able to move them in the basic storage layer where we have just infrequent access. They are just forcing us to move into the deep archive. Okay, but for just for this demo, I'm not going to select the object size, and they're obviously to Glacier only. So you can, it's actually clearly mentioned here. We can only transfer to Glacier if you select these options. Okay, sorry, my bad. So yes, now I want to move this file, let's say, into standard IA. That means infrequent access data. That is the first option. And I can say after 30 days, minimum value is 30 days. You cannot move the files by lifecycle rule into standard IA like that. So if I just say 5, it's going to give you warning. A minimum of 30 days is required before transitioning to standard IA. So we have to give a 30 days minimum here. Let's say I give a 30 days. Then actually you can go ahead and add the transitions here. So I can click add transition, and you can say after this standard IA, I want to move it to Glacier instant retrieval. Like I want to deep archive that, and minimum value here is I think 90. So if I just give 5, must be 30. Okay, so this is also 30 days. If I give 30, then this is the flow diagram created here. So you can check that for first month object, when the object is got uploaded. For the first month, it's going to be in the standard storage class. After that, for the next 30 days, it's going to be there in the standard IA. And after that, it's going to be there on the instant retrieval. I think for the deep archive, for that flexible retrieval or this deep archive, number of days, oh, they actually reduced this. It was earlier definitely 90 days. Now they have definitely removed reduced this to 30 days. So actually this is something you have to be updated, keep updated with the cloud. So I'm definitely sure even the last week when I did this demo, it was 90 days. So now maybe they have reduced this right now. So yes, this does not matter. We can still give it 90 days. We can say after 90 days, I want to move it to Glacier Deep Archive. Okay, and you can acknowledge this that you are moving it to Glacier Deep Archive, and which is going to take some time while you are trying to retrieve those things. Okay, and here you can see for first 30 days, it's going to be in standard bucket when it is supposed to be accessed quite frequently. And then for the next 30 days, it is, kind of going to be in the standard IA. That means infrequent access, like your data is available for the faster retrieval, and it is in the standard IA. But after 90 days, it's going to be completely archived in the Glacier Deep archive. And when you try to retrieve this data, it's going to take some time. And obviously charges are going to be lower for the storage, and it's going to be higher for the data retrieval. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. Otherwise, I can go ahead and click on the creator rule. No questions?
So basically, this life cycle is a movement of files from one area to one area based on our usage, right? To cut the cost.
Yes, yes, exactly. To optimize the cost, we can apply this lifecycle rules.
Okay. So you mean the
So
more frequent, hot storage is on the standard one, and the cold
yes,
storage is basically on the glacier.
yes, exactly. And standard IA is somewhere in between.
Right. Okay.
So I will just go and hit on the create rule, and now this rule will start working on all the files that we have. So obviously we cannot demo it like this file is moving. It's going to be moved into standard IA after 30 days. Okay. So if I come back to my bucket and see, this is the one way to move your file into different zones. And while also uploading the files, we have this option available with us. So if I come back to different tab, here I uploaded this PPT. If I just go ahead and upload one more file, and actually let's just go on KMS first. Okay, so this is a service, key management service, as its name says. Here we can create the keys which are going to encrypt and decrypt our file. So if I just open this, so here you can simply just actually you can see it's AWS managed keys are here, and this AWS S3 key is here. This is the key ID. So by default, this key is enabled, and this is the key which is helping us to encrypt and decrypt our files that we are placing on the S3. Okay, so if I come back to my customer managed keys, you can see I have one key and both keys are actually disabled. So if I just select this key, and if I make this key enable, key is enabled. Okay, now if I come back on my S3, so I was saying we can select the settings of the files at the time of upload also. So again, if I say add files and if I say same PPT, then here in the permissions and properties, we do have some options. So in permissions, this is like it's access only. So it's saying bucket owner has forced object ownership and bucket policies to control the access. So we cannot use ACLs for this particular bucket, but in properties, we have the option of choosing the storage class. So by default, it is on standard, and you can see the availability zones also. Those three or more than three availability zones, it's going to be copied. Okay, and standard IA, it's going to be copied. Sorry, on one zone IA, it's going to be copied on only at one availability zone, and obviously it's going to be charged a bit lower on the storage side. You can see the message here also designed for, so you can see long-lived archive data accessed once a quarter with instant retrieval in milliseconds, and you can see frequently accessed data for standard bucket more than once a month. Okay, with millisecond access. And here, if you choose intelligent tiering, okay, here if you choose intelligent tiering, by default, your file is going to be analyzed by machine learnings and algorithms behind the scenes. And depending on the access patterns used by you, it is going to be moved between the storage classes. Okay, so if you are not accessing your files enough for months or for years, then obviously it is going to be moved in the lower charge storage classes. That is intelligent tiering. So you can say intelligent tiering is the machine learning algorithms designed for the storage classes movement of the file. Rest all you can select manually. So let's say I still want to load it into a standard bucket. Okay, and then I have the option of choosing the server-side encryption. For now, I'm saying I don't want to define any specific or server-side encryption for this file. Like the file, if I go ahead and upload this, I am not going to encrypt this file. But if I want, I can go ahead and define a encryption key for this file. Okay, so I can specify the encryption key here, and then I can just come down here and I can either use the default encryption keys, which are nothing but this one from the AWS managed keys. It is the AWS S3, the key used for the S3 one, or I can just override the bucket settings for the default encryption. If I go ahead and override the setting, then I have the option of KMS service. If I choose KMS service, then I can choose my see this ARN. Actually learn this ARN also. This ARN actually stands for Amazon resource name. That means every resource that we go ahead and create in the AWS, it has got a ARN assigned with that. That means a specific name has been assigned to that, and that you can use here. Or you can just simply choose from the AWS KMS keys and you can choose it like this. We can come down here and we can choose this S3 encrypt for the file encryption and decryption, and you can see it is currently enabled. Okay, if this key is not enabled, then you won't be able to encrypt or decrypt your files. So if I just select this option, okay, and you can see this is the ARN that I have got here. So if I choose from the this option also, I will get my ARN copied here. And if you want to get the ARN of the files or any resource, just go inside that resource, and the first thing you will see is the ARN on the overview page. Okay, this is the ARN of my this particular key, which is called as S3 encrypt.
So I think there are like multiple encryption keys, right, Jalaj?
Yes.
Which key we need to know what we should select?
See, it is this is designed by security engineers of your team. So they will not give you the access like this. For me, this is my root account. It is my personal account. I have access to all the services and all the keys. So how it is done, like they might call it S3 developer key. Okay. And they might give the access to developers only, and that developers will be able to access the files which are encrypted by these keys. And on the same S3 bucket, they might have different files for that they want to give the access to managers also. So managers will have access to that particular key, and only the managers will be able to access the files which are encrypted by the other key.
Okay.
It is like creating the different security levels. It is like that thing.
Okay. Does it have both encryption at rest and encryption at transit, both?
Encryption in transit is not handled by this. This is, you can say, this is encryption in rest.
At rest, yeah. Okay.
So here we can select the key either by ARN or either by option from drop-down list. Then I can simply come down here, okay, and upload the files. Okay, if I upload the file, let's just upload this. And if I try to create the PPT file, if I try to access this file, or let's say if I try to download this file, okay, if I click on download, I'm able to download this file. Download has been complete. Because why it was done? Because I had the access to this particular file, and that's the reason I was able to download this file. But let's say if you see that there has been some compromise with your security or something like that, then you can simply come here and disable this key. And this enable and disable operation takes effect immediately. So ideally, if I go here and if I refresh this, and if I try to download this, it should not work ideally. Okay, it worked, but it shouldn't have. If I'm not wrong, I have encrypted this file with that particular encryption key. Okay, it's not there. How it does? Come on. Tag is there. Size is there. I don't see server side encryption. It is encrypted by this particular key 890, and 890 is disabled. Maybe let me just refresh this again. It should not allow me to download this. Or maybe I think download. Okay, it's the access actually only. So if I upload one more file, if I just upload one more file, and this time if I upload add files, Airbnb room type, price.csv, and properties, I'm going to mention the same key again, or maybe a different one because that is disabled now. I cannot use that. I will just use this demo encryption. Let me just, or maybe the same one. Enable this. Okay, S3 management console, I'm coming back. I will choose that particular key here. Specify an encryption key, override the bucket settings, use KMS. I want to use from drop down. I will use S3 encrypt, and I am going to upload this file. Okay, so if I try to access this file via program console only, I think download options will still work. But if I just try to access this file using actions and query with S3 select, and if I run this query, I should be able to see the data. Okay, I got my data with me. And if I go ahead and disable this key action, disable, confirm, yes, and disabled, I will remove these things and its status is disabled. If I come back here on this Airbnb price CSV, if I again see object actions, query with S3 select, now I should not be able, definitely should not be able to access this file, but still it is giving me access. How it is working? I should not have it. Okay, this is really weird. I should not have the access to this data. It is disabled. If it is disabled, it is 890 only. Okay, I'll come back to you, but this should not have happened like this. If you have any questions, you can ask me, but this should have not allowed me to access these files. I'm actually a bit surprised. That's why I'm not able to say anything, because for all the demos, I have done it hundreds of times, and it does not allow me to access these files.
So basically, we are uploading a file and trying to access via Athena something. Is it the same we are trying to do?
No. This is actually via S3 select. That is the option on the S3 itself. So Athena is a different thing. S3 select is just a feature where you can just go ahead and see the content of the CSV and Parquet and JSON files, and that too limited content. You can see like only 125 MB of the size you can see. I'm still very much surprised that I'm still able to access this file even though my key is being removed. So yeah, it has taken effect now. I don't know why it has taken some time, but it does work immediately. Now you can see this particular key is disabled, and that is why I am not able to check retrieve my results back with me. And ideally, I should not be able to download this also. If I just try download, yeah, you can see disabled exception. And now this should work for my PPT also. So if in this bucket, if I come back and if I go inside this particular folder, if I select this and if I try to download this, it should be same exception. Yeah, it is. So maybe this time it took a few seconds or minute to apply those settings, but ideally it works very fast. Not even a second's gap is there.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. So my question is like this: KMS console is there. So when we are creating our S3 bucket, so that time we are assigning this key, and the key is already defined in KMS console. So mm, how internally it works? I mean, it takes the key and check for the permission whether it's enabled or disabled, and based on that, it will act upon.
See, mostly these keys once are created, obviously those are not disabled, okay? And you can also force the bucket policies on top of these, okay? Where you can go ahead and say you won't be able to upload the files unless they are encrypted by these particular keys. Any particular key that you're forcing, let's say this one for our example, you can create a bucket policy which will not allow you to upload the files which are not encrypted. Uh, I do have a bucket policy. So if I try it, I will try to find it out. Okay, it will take some time. That's why I won't do it right now. I will get that bucket policy with me and I'll do the demo in the tomorrow session, which is for IAM. I will apply that bucket policy here. And when you try to upload the files which are not encrypted, you will face the errors.
Okay, so suppose this KMS console to represent the same, and I have to try in my system. How?
But sir, you are very less audible.
Uh, Actually, my question is, this in KMS console, you have already predefined some keys.
Yes.
Now, the same thing I have to replicate in my system and try out the same thing, whether after enable or disable, how it is working. So, how I can do that?
Okay, creation of the keys. It's actually fairly easy. You can come here on customer managed keys. Just simply click on create key. Use symmetric option. That means both encrypt and decrypt will be used by same things. Okay, and then simply just go click on next. Give a key name or the alias name or display name, whatever you say. Let's say S3 demo key. This will cost you 12 cents. Keep in mind that that is around 20 rupees, 20 Indian rupees. Go ahead and click on next. You have to choose the key administrator, like who all can use this key first of all. So basically, obviously you are not going to have all this list and it is optional a thing. So in your account, you can simply just go ahead and skip this. Okay, this means allow key administrator to delete this key. Like if you want allow the deletion also, then you can check this box and here click the next. So what you have to do, select the symmetric key name and click on next. And you have to choose key administrator, like who can disable, enable or delete that key. Then we have to choose users, like who all can use this key. Okay, again you won't be able to see these many IAM users because this is my account. I create a lot of IAM users and IAM roles. That's why I'm seeing it this quite a huge list. You can skip this. By default your root user, that means the you log into your AWS account with your email IDs, you will be able to get this. Then you can just click on next one more time and you can review all these details and hit on finish. Okay. Basically you have to select symmetric. Okay. Then choose alias, then click next, 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 and finish. And this is going to cost you 12 cents that I'm reminding you to everyone. So if you're not willing to pay for this, you can skip this. If you're okay to pay around 12 cents or around 20 Indian rupees, then it's fine. You can go ahead and create this.
So basically in real time when we are uploading the files, it will be encrypted with this KMS keys, right? Yeah.
Yes, most of the project use KMS.
Yeah. So and also for the security and treating this bucket as private, so that keeping some sort of restrictions on the access and other privileges, we are defining these keys.
Yes, key is for the access purpose, and then who can go and so there's actually one more option is there, which I'm going to tell you tomorrow. See, two more options are there. So I'm going to a demo that in tomorrow's class, that is IAM, which is the root service for your all access management in the cloud of AWS.
I have one more question. Yesterday, when you were creating a bucket, so there was one option block all public access. So when we are selecting that option, so outside of that AWS account, no one can access that, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
suppose if in Amazon 10 people are working and Amazon 10 people are can access that bucket because they are inside of that server.
No, no, it's not server. So it's like this. Let me just come back here. So if I go inside this, and by default you see I have a object URL. Okay. So if I try to hit this object URL, if I copy this, okay, and then I paste it out, clicks, I can see access denied. Okay. This means right now this tab is particularly not, I'm not logged in inside this tab. You can see it here. I'm not logged in inside this tab. I'm simply trying to access that file via URL. But if I go here and if I go in, I think permissions, and if I say not this, not ACLs, I want to, yeah, this is, if I go ahead and edit the block public access, if I remove this thing, if I save this and then confirm, it is done. And let's just try to hit this again, maybe on a new tab. It is actually buffered, but it will just take a few minutes, and then okay, maybe you guys can try doing this. Just hit this and you should be able to download that file. Maybe in a few seconds. I also will, because it is like, I think, cached. Maybe I can try it here on the Internet Explorer. What happened this? Let's just paste this and hit try. Okay, I think access is today taking some time, but we'll wait for a few minutes. Or maybe I can just go back, check the settings. Here I have block public access off. In my objects, let me just verify for this object. I think when I uploaded this, it was still blocked. If I go in the permissions, it should be public, then it will work. In the permissions, yeah, you can see it. It is still here is no access. So maybe if I again upload some files inside this bucket, now it should be affected. So if I just upload this, add files, if I just take my S3 PPT, and just go ahead and upload this. Okay, then this will also have a URL created, and then if I get this URL, try to hit this, still not working. Why? S3 one, no? Yes, it is good. Ideally, it should have worked, but I think it's taking some time in reflecting the rules. In the permissions, still I do not see any permissions here. Yeah, actually we can ask the question. Meanwhile I'm checking. You can ask the actions, or I ask the questions. In the permissions, objects can be public, individual, it is okay. Then why I was not allowed to do upload? Let's just do it, try one more time. Add files, let's just say I say DynamoDB, and then the properties and grant public access. Actually this should not be like this now. It should be this should not be like this. If I just remove this and come down, again add files and select the permissions, nothing here. Properties are fine. I don't want to specify any encryption. Object log, everything is fine. After I upload this, then if I go in the permission of this, permission, still I do not have it, anything here. So I think it's taking a bit of time, but usually if you have unchecked that, and if you try to hit a URL of those things, it should be downloading the file for you. And if it's a HTML files, then it will be uploading the web page for you. So this use case is like sometimes you want to host your website and you want to make those things public. So some public pages you can save on S3 and make them public by knowingly, and you can allow public access via internet. So that is the meaning of public or private here, not the account levels. Okay.
Just why their ACL has been disabled?
So
It
right
should be.
now, like earlier when this S3 was featured, okay, they started with the access control list. You were able to select which file can be in the read mode or write mode or read write mode, and who can use that. But nowadays they are using bucket policies specifically. So when we go ahead and try to create a bucket, okay, when you go ahead and try to create a bucket, they will allow, like by default, they say ACL should be disabled right now. So if you go on buckets and if you try to create a bucket here, actually I have covered this in yesterday's class. If also you can see it's recommended to keep the ACLs disabled. New feature they are saying is bucket policies you should apply, or use the IAM roles if you want to give those things. Not if you don't want to give the access.
Yeah.
So yes, from this, I don't know. I was not successfully able to do this, but I think it's taking some time, which is bit weird because it immediately takes effect. These rules, IAM rules, very immediately takes effect. Okay, I'm not sure why it is not working. Maybe sometimes later I will try it again. And you guys also can try hit this link if it works for you. It's not a like secure data. It's just PPTs. Okay, and from here we have seen lifecycle rules and object lock. We can actually demo here. So I hope this will work. So I will go inside the training bucket. So for the guys who missed this yesterday, object lock is a feature where we can go ahead and save the objects from any type of manipulation. So I can apply object locks and I can say that I don't want the files to be deleted or modified for this particular duration. So that setting is available in the properties. Okay, I can come down here and I can click on edit on object lock. And this object lock setting you have to enable at the time of creation of the bucket. Once a bucket is created, you won't be able to enable the object lock if it was not done earlier. Now like right now it was enabled, like it was there to be utilized, but this was not utilized. Right now I'm making it enable, and then there are two kinds of object lock. Okay. Governance means users, as you can see, it's clearly written here, users with some specific IAM permissions can overwrite or delete the objects which are placed inside this folder. But if I say compliance, then nobody in this complete world with whatever access they have, they won't be able to modify or delete the file for the number of days that we are giving here. So if I give 5 number of days, I can have 5 years also. If I make save changes, any file that I upload after this, I won't be able to permanently delete for 5 days. So it helps us to achieve the compliances where some government projects, government data or very critical data is there that you don't want to be tampering. So if I click on save changes, this also should take effect immediately. So let's just test it right now. I'm going to come in objects. I'm going to upload one different file for the testing purpose, and it keep in mind, once you apply the object lock, it is not enabled for the previous file. So okay, any files which I'm going to upload now, it is going to be applied for. So let's say if I go ahead and upload this book one XLX and upload this. Now I will be able to delete this file. Okay, I will be able to delete this file from here. And that is a temporary delete. If you remember, I had told you we have applied the versioning here on this particular bucket, and versioning is mandatorily required to do anything. It's deleting, not delete. Yeah. And delete objects. It will be successfully deleted. Now, ideally, if I click on show versions, that means I will be able to see my latest and previous versions of all the files. Then this book one, as you can see it here. If I try to delete this book one from here, delete, and now this time it will say permanently delete. This permanently delete should not work. Ideally, it should not work, but I don't know what will happen today. Yes, it actually worked, and you can see I am got the error. Now it's 2nd of May. On 8th of May, I will be able to delete this file. Till then, nobody can delete this file. So guys, this is all from my end for today. If you have any questions, I'm open for the questions. So we have seen lifecycle, object load, replication, versioning, select. Security via IAM, I'm going to show you tomorrow. Bucket policy, I'm going to show you tomorrow. Access control list, I have told you this was the option available a few years back. Now it is not there. As we block public access means we are going to block the public access completely. Then encryption, we have seen S3, KMS. SSC means that like right now KMS keys we have created. There are third-party tools. You can utilize those third-party tools to encrypt your file for the server-side encryption. And same thing is there for the client-side encryption. Either you can use KMS or you can use any local third-party tools to store and encrypt and decrypt your keys and files. So I'm open for the question for next 5 minutes. If you have any questions, please ask me. And this security part, IAM and bucket policy, we are going to see tomorrow. First, we are going to learn about the AWS IAM rules, and then I'm going to show you a bucket policy example.
Yesterday you showed S3 select, so I tried that option. Uh, in that only we can do a limit only. Other than that, other operations are not available, like selecting a column or ascending or descending, something like
No,
that.
see, I told you that is just for data previewing. It's not a SQL thing. There's no SQL engine behind that. It is just for previewing your data. You can limit and or select star. That's all.
Okay. And with this today's class, with regards to encryption and ARN key, what I have understood is like if you wanted to apply encryption, then there would be some predefined key which will be running on some algorithm. We are just using it and encrypting our data.
Yeah, that is by default encryption, AWS S3 encryption.
Okay.
And if you want to use a different key, like algorithm is going to be same, but keys are going to be managed by you, not by AWS.
Okay.
Any more questions? Bhaskar, Jose, Rama, Nikhil.
No, that's fine, Jalaj.
I have one more question. From yesterday, we are reading about S3, and today also we have seen some topics. So, out of these two classes, what are the activity which we are doing as a data engineer, as a real-time environment?
See, from this, if I say, you should capture that what is the use case, what is the use of this S3 bucket. So real-time use is like whenever we get the data, 90% of the projects get these data uploaded on S3, and it is you can say it's a landing zone. Okay, so there are multiple of data sources, data generators, which are generating data every day, every month, every week, and from there this data is placed on your S3 buckets. This you can say very elementary stage. Okay, here you get the data. From here you can apply the logics on your data, or you can create data pipelines. So it is like you can use this S3 for data storage purpose. Okay, so you want to create a glue job, and for that you want to read the data, you can store the data on S3. You want to have a lambda function, you can have the data on S3s. So S3 is the landing zone of your data in the real time. And all these lifecycle rules are there to optimize the cost. All this encryption is there to enhance the security, and all these features are there to help you. Like select is there to help you to just visualize the data or see the data. And what we have seen, yeah, storage classes for cost optimization, lifecycle rules for cost optimization, object lock for compliance rules, replication to replicate or backup your data, versioning to make sure that your data is not deleted by mistake. So these things are there to help the user. You can say these are the features of this particular service. Okay,
Just one
so
more question.
yes, please.
Uh, uh, there is a requirement where I need to do a fresh ingestion. I mean, I have to read a fresh ingestion data. So in that case, um, I have to reach out to some team to create this S3 bucket with certain settings.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct? Huh?
depends how much your team size is. So and depends whose responsibility is this. So you can also create the bucket. Okay, obviously ingestion it can be or it cannot be your responsibility as you are just 4 years of experience. So it should not be ideally. Okay, ingestion is a kind of a crucial part. It has to be handled by some uh, well experienced data architects. So you can say after 10 more years you will get that chance. I mean, just a guessing number I'm saying. It could be that you might be into this luckily or unluckily in next year also. You're getting this, like I'm not saying there's a hard timeline for this, but yes, it should not be a responsibility of a young developers.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so I'll just stop the recording and I'll move into my next class.